the first 5 or 6 years of his career,
unbelievable.
Like his prime,
Crazy good.
is like the highest of highs.
Yeah,
and
really.
But is that prime? Was he high enough in his prime to be able to make the Hall of Fame?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another videos on the Clutch Points YouTube channel. My name is Dante. This is Ben. And today we have a brand new video for you. We are playing Hall of Fame or not. So basically, Ben is going to give me 5 borderline Hall of Famers, basketball players who have either current, former players who are on the verge of making the Hall of Fame or right on that line of being a Hall of Famer or not. Ben, I'm very interested to hear the players that you have, because there's a good amount of players, current and old, that are borderline Hall of Famers that you can make a fair argument for.
There are. I'm going to start it off with one of your favorite guys.
Okay.
Russell Westbrook. He's a 9-time All-Star, 2-time scoring champ, 9-time All-NBA, 2-time All-Star Game MVP, if that matters to you. 2016-17 MVP. He was on the All-Rookie team, and he's also part of the 75th anniversary team. Also the leader in triple doubles.
All time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
what are his career averages?
22.4, 7.3 rebounds, and 8.4 assists.
Yeah. So I will go on record here. I have said in the past many times on different YouTube channels, different TikToks, all this and that, I think Russell Westbrook is one of the more overrated players. And I only say that because he's remembered for his triple doubles and, you know, being the all-time leader in triple doubles, his MVP season where he averaged triple double, and in the seasons that followed as well. I believe it's impressive. I do believe that there is a lot of like stat padding and this and that involved with it, but at the end of the day, he got triple double. To answer the question, I do believe he's going to be a Hall of Famer simply because of that. He has way too much on his resume to be left out of the Hall of Fame. His impact on the league, you're going to look back on Russell Westbrook and you're going to see, you know, the incredible stat lines that he had in that MVP season, which was phenomenal. I got to give him his respect. Russell Westbrook, it would be crazy if he didn't make the Hall of Fame, because like I said earlier, there's a lot of guys that are in it that probably shouldn't be.
Blake Griffin, he has a career average of 19, 8, and 4, 6-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, 2010 Rookie of the Year. I feel like he's the first 5 or 6 years of his career,
unbelievable. Like
his prime,
crazy good.
He's like the highest of highs.
Yeah,
and
really.
But is that prime? Was he high enough in his prime to be able to make the Hall of Fame?
It's tough because he got plagued with a lot of injuries.
Yes.
There were years when the Clippers were favorites to win it, and
he
then
didn't even play his first year.
Didn't even play his first year. Yeah. I believe it was a torn ACL or whatever it was. I mean, he came out of the gates hot when he came back from injury, and just it's kind of crazy to see how many like high scoring seasons he had. He was a bona fide scorer, that dude, for those first few years, averaging like 25, 26. Even when he went to Detroit, injuries really left us from seeing how good Blake could really be. I think we saw a very good version of him, but I think if he stayed healthy, we would have seen an even better version of him. That being said, if he wins a championship before he leaves, so like let's say the Celtics win this year and he wins a championship, I believe he will be a Hall of Famer. Personally, I say no, because it's just phenomenal player, great peak, great prime, but I think
just unfortunately the
injuries held him back really, and I think he did well adjusting to the, like, there's a lot of guys that, like, for him, he was a paint dominant player, dunking the ball, very athletic around the rim. At the time in the NBA, that's all big men did. Then people started shooting. He adjusted well. I think there was one season in Detroit where he shot like 38% from 3.
Yeah.
So he did adjust to how the game, you know, was naturally changing, but I still don't think there's enough there for him to be a Hall of Famer. I love him. I think he's dope. I think he's hilarious. I think he's a really good player, but not enough for me to say he's a Hall of Famer.
Jimmy Butler.
Gosh, you're really throwing a lot of tough ones at me.
So he's got career averages of 18, 5, and 4. 6-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA, 2020-2021 Steal Champ, 5-time All-Defensive Team, and was the 2014-15 Most Improved Player.
I think Jimmy Butler goes into the Hall of Very Good. I think
That's
Jimmy
fair.
Butler, I really like Jimmy Butler because his story is incredible. You know, a lot of things never went his way, but he found a way to persevere and get to the other side, and it's so respectable. Just seeing where he came from to where he is now. I'm going to say I think I really want to say yes, but I don't think I can. His career. So how old is he?
He's 33.
His career isn't over yet. I think right now, if he retired after this season, no. But I do believe that he has a few years left. He could win a championship or two. Something could happen where that could change. That. Right now, I say no. The next few years continues to have a few, strong years. Maybe if he leaves the Heat, goes to another contender, wins a championship or two, I think he's a Hall of Famer. But right now, at this very moment, I'm saying no.
All right. This one might be slightly easier.
Okay.
Maybe not. Kawhi Leonard averages 19, 6, and 3, 5-time All-Star, 2-time NBA champ, 5-time All-NBA, 7-time All-Defensive Team, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. He's part of the 75th anniversary team as well.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
You know how hard, not even just how hard it is, how crazy it is that one player can miss out on playing in almost a full season, get traded to a team that he doesn't want to go to, that he, not openly, but everyone knew that it was going to be a 1-year thing, goes into a city, a country that's never won an NBA championship, and lead them to a title in your first and only year.
Yeah.
Brother, if he could have retired after that year, and I would have said he was a Hall of Famer.
Okay.
I think Kawhi Leonard, he's another guy that injuries really are taking away a lot of good chunk of his prime. Because when Kawhi Leonard is healthy, and to some people this might sound like an outlandish statement, it might sound crazy because it's been a while since he's been fully healthy and we've seen that side of him. When he's 100% healthy, I don't think I can name 5 players in the NBA better than him. Again, when he's healthy, arguably the best perimeter defender in the NBA.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. You can throw your Nick Claxtons, you can throw your Marcus. I'm a Celtics fan. You can throw your Marcus Smarts at me. You can throw your Michael Bridges. You can throw whoever you want at me. I'm picking Kawhi over them. He's a guy that was a Finals MVP, a champion in 2 different teams, and could be, if the Clippers win, I think he would be the best player on that team. So I think he'd win a Finals MVP there too. Mm-hmm. Just all that he's accomplished in the not small amount of time, but in the amount of time that he's been healthy in the league. So I think it's no-brainer Hall of Famer. There was a point where I was convinced that he might go down as a top 25, 30 player of all time. I think the potential is still there. I still think he can do it. I think 2 and 2 right now. I have 2 Hall of Famers, 2 not Hall of Famers. So let's see what we finish with.
Jayson Tatum.
Oh, God. Jayson Tatum, bro. All right, yeah.
So you currently averaging 22. 7 and 3. Not a team player. 4-time All-Star. 2-time All-NBA. He was the 2021 ECF MVP.
Yep.
2022 All-Star Game MVP.
Yep.
Or this year.
2023. Yeah.
And then 2017-18 All-Rookie team.
Yeah. He's got ways to go.
He does have a ways to go.
He just turned 25.
He does have a ways to go.
For a 25-year-old, he is doing some great stuff.
Yeah.
I think Basketball Hall of Fame. I think Basketball Hall of Fame is the easiest Hall of Fame to get into.
Oh, 100%.
I think
it's a joke.
It's a joke. It really, the MLB, NFL they're very strict when it comes to who they let in. The NBA is a joke. So you've seen guys this is gonna sound a little crazy. Trace McGrady is a Hall of Famer. I think Trace McGrady is
I love Trace McGrady.
I think he's one of the most talented players to ever play the game, but it
feels like a lot of the NBA Hall of Famers it's not based off of merit, it's based off of you were really good, you got hurt, and I feel really bad for you.
That's a part of it.
So we're still going to put you in.
You could have a big impact in just 4 or 5 years, and you can still make the Hall of Fame. So again, I love Trace McGrady, and if he stayed healthy, arguably could be a top 10 scorer of all time. Yes. Injuries kept him to having only a few really good years, and he still made the Hall of Fame. I'm not in any way comparing Jayson Tatum to him, but I'm just saying what we're seeing right now is he's kind of hitting his stride. He's having these 30-point game seasons, and if these continue to collect, whether he wins a championship or not.
Oh, that was my question.
Whether he wins a championship or not, if you have the numbers behind you, I think he can make the Hall of Fame. Now, again, I'm kind of going to go off the same thing that I said with Jimmy Butler. Right now, he's not a Hall of Famer, without a doubt.
That's fair.
If Jayson Tatum retired after the season, no, he's not. Fair. He's not. If he even gets a single Hall of Fame vote when his name gets put on the ballot, it's biased. It's Boston writers. It's guys like that. With that being said, though, the way that his career is, the trajectory at the end of his career, if he stays healthy and he keeps on this track, and whether he only wins 1 championship or none, I think he is on a trajectory to be a Hall of Fame player.
This is my question.
Okay.
So the Celtics, are head and shoulders the best team in the NBA this year.
They're not head and shoulders, but I believe that they are the best team.
Last
in the NBA,
year, like
so.
again, like upper echelon team, really good team. My biggest knock on Jayson Tatum so far is that he doesn't show up in the playoffs.
Sure,
he disappears.
That's a fair statement to make.
Back to this year, if they don't win this year, I think people are going to have a serious conversation about Jayson Tatum. That's why, I mean, because that's my main reason why I don't think he's superstar yet.
Okay,
I think he's star. I don't think he's superstar.
I think there's not many superstars in the NBA.
No,
superstar should be like top 5.
Right, because I haven't seen him show up. I mean, never mind perform in the playoffs. I haven't seen him show up in the playoffs a lot. Last year was a little bit better, but like in the finals, he disappeared. He did nothing in the finals last year. So that's just my question. Like if that continues the rest of his career, you know, he's just not if he ends up not being like a playoff performer or plays poorly, because I don't think it's necessarily like disappearing, as I said, but like I think it's more just like he tries to do way too much.
I agree.
Like I watched him like bring the ball out, and it's just like, dude, like pass the ball.
Yeah,
he tries to ISO things and then turns the ball. Like his turn, he was turning the ball over so much last postseason.
That was the biggest thing, him and Jalen.
So if he becomes like a notable like postseason choker, but like has the filler numbers, like you don't think that will hurt his Hall of Fame status?
That definitely affects a few things. Again, it's these writers, these people that vote, really come up with their own narratives and come up with, you know, the reasoning for voting guys. And now, just to kind of, I agree with what you're saying with Tatum, like in the finals especially. There were a few games like against that Bucks series, game 6 and 7, Tatum had big closeout games. But in the when it came to the finals, he didn't show up. To his defense, for just this one time though, it was his first finals.
That's fair. And that's fair.
If you look at who they had to go through, the Nets, it was a sweep. It was the third closest sweep in history. Yeah. So the whole series was decided by 15 points, I think. Each game was down to the wire. Yeah. 7-game series with the Bucks, 7-game series with the Heat. Not to their defense, the Celtics put themselves in those positions in those series. Not against the Nets, but Bucks, Heat. They could have closed that out or a lot earlier than they did. When it came to the finals, they were gassed. No, I mean that's fair. Tatum, now fair. when you're gassed like that, you kind of have to adjust and work around it. Tatum,
it just didn't feel like the Celtics were deep enough last year.
The Warriors were more experienced. They've been there. It was just, as much as I would have obviously loved the Celtics to win, it would have been tough. It was a team of destiny. They were 23 and 24 at one point in the year. No one even thought they were going to make it as far as they did. If they make it to the finals this year and the same thing happens, then I think you're right. I think there's going to be a conversation no matter what with Jayson Tatum after this year. And I'll tell you, as a Celtics fan, if the Celtics don't win this year, I'm concerned that Jayson and Jalen aren't going to be around for much longer, because how I look at it is, how much better can this team get?
Yeah, I mean, they've really gone, I mean, for the most part, have, like, besides not trading for Kevin Durant, like, they've gone all in.
They have the roster this year to win it all. It's up to them if they do it. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer now. I think he can be. Whether he continues to go to the playoffs or finals and struggles, I still think that...
So he doesn't have to win a ring for you?
No, I think there's enough players in the Hall of Fame that don't have rings.
That's fair.
That have made it, and Tatum would fit in there. Yeah. So, but hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is a new one that we did, Hall of Fame or not. Put in the comments who you think is a Hall of Fame or not. All these players that Ben mentioned, do you believe that they belong in the Hall of Fame? Do you think I'm right? Am I wrong? Put your opinions in the comments. Put some players who you would like to see us discuss in the next Hall of Fame or not video that we can discuss. Maybe next time we do a little baseball Hall of Fame and we quiz you a little bit. So check us out on this platform. Check out other videos as well as other channels, other platforms, TikTok, Twitter. Look up Clutch Points. And until next time, peace out.
See ya.